Have you ever tried something new, struggled with it, and instantly thought, I guess I'm just not good at this? Like your brain says there are only two outcomes. Either you're naturally good or you shouldn't even bother. That's the false dilemma fallacy at work. This kind of thinking pops up into our lives all the time, from trying new skills to facing challenges at work or school. It holds us back more than we realize. I ran into this mindset during a beach trip when I tried to learn how to surf. It turned a fun experience into something that felt more like a personal failure. The false dilemma fallacy tricks us into believing we have only two options: succeed or fail. But real growth happens when we give ourselves space to learn and improve. First, I'll share my experience of learning how to surf. Then I'll explain the false dilemma fallacy. And finally, I'll talk about how changing my mindset helped me to move forward. Let me take you back to the first morning of learning how to surf. During a weekend trip with friends, I rented a surfboard and was excited to catch my first waves. However, the first hour out there was brutal. I wiped out over and over. I couldn't stand up, couldn't balance, and I couldn't even paddle right. Almost immediately, my brain was telling me, either you're a surfer or you're not. Clearly, you're not. And I started to feel very embarrassed and frustrated. I even blamed my gear, saying that the surfboard wasn't right, the waves weren't good enough, or maybe this just wasn't for me. According to Surfline, many beginners struggle to surf due to balance, ocean conditions, and unfamiliar movement patterns, which take time to learn. The false dilemma fallacy simplifies a situation into just two options when many actually exist. According to Purdue University's Al, it's a flawed argument that ignores all gray space in between extremes. I thought that I only had two options. I was either instantly good at surfing or I wasn't meant to do it. That ignored the most obvious truth, that learning anything is going to take time. The fallacy made me feel defeated when I was really just a beginner doing what all beginners do, learning through failure. However, things started to change the next day. My friends convinced me to go out and try again. I lowered my expectations. Instead of trying to stand up, I just focused on riding waves on my knees. That small shift made a big difference. I had a lot more fun, felt less pressure, and by the end of the session, I was even standing for a few waves for a few seconds at a time. I realized that growth isn't a yes or no question. It is a process. And I didn't need to be perfect to belong out there. According to Mindset Works, developing a growth mindset means believing your abilities can improve through effort and learning, not just talent. Since then, I've noticed this kind of thinking everywhere when starting a new workout routine, learning something new at work, or even helping a friend. The false dilemma wants us to believe that you only have two options, but life is lived in the middle. So what can we take away from this? That first surfing lesson taught me how the false dilemma fallacy can trick you. It had me believing I either had to be a natural or give up. But that was never true. By recognizing the fallacy and giving myself space to improve, I grew. So the next time you try something new and feel like quitting, ask yourself, am I falling into a false dilemma? Am I expecting only success or failure with nothing in between? Because the truth is, progress lives in the messy middle ground. You are allowed to fall. You're allowed to be new to something. And you're allowed to grow at your own pace. So do not let a false choice stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. Thanks for listening.